What's up, guys, and welcome to Bible Belt Ranch. We have 17 acres here, and this is going to be day 2 of homesteading. And we've kind of done some homesteading stuff here and there, but this is the second day of actually making the decision to try to do it hopefully one day full time. And so we're really just trying to get there. We've had chickens for a while, and so I'm gonna give you guys a little tour around the homestead and let you know where we're starting. So hopefully you guys can follow us to where we end up. So let's get to it. Over here we have the barn, which I have a ton of work to do over there. And but let's start with the chickens and the chicken coop. I built this, I believe maybe 6 months ago, and it really is not the best thing in the world. It's barely holding on for dear life, but it keeps the chickens contained, because for a little while I stopped letting them roost in here, and then they started roosting in the carport, and poop was everywhere. They were pooping on my wife's vehicle. So we put them back in here, and now they're just living their best lives. They normally lay about 5 to 6 eggs a day, and it just depends. Today they didn't really lay any, so we just changed out their feed, gave them some water, and they're living their best life. Say hello, ladies. We have a little duck in there as well, and she really enjoys it, being there with the chickens. Over here, not too far from the coop, we have the garden, and I have to do some weeding today. I have some other things I got to do, so if I have time, I'm gonna get to the weeding. And but only thing in here right now that we're growing is cucumber, and it seems to really be thriving. I built this a couple months ago as well. A few T-posts, a little bit of wire paneling, and it's really doing well. We actually had a flood a few weeks ago, and a little flash flood that really took out a couple of our fences, like that one over there. And the garden really held up. I put a few raised beds in here, which are the ones that I really need to weed, obviously. So bear with me, guys. I'm a beginner. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am not a farmer. I've never really done anything with gardens or anything like that. So this is like I said, this is going to be the first time for this homestead thing, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. A little nervous. So if you guys have any tips for me, go ahead and leave those in the comments. But here are my raised beds. I made these out of some leftover wood inside the barn that was no longer being utilized. And I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these. And obviously I'm gonna weed all these today. And here's the cucumber that is just really thriving over here. There's actually, I forgot, we're actually growing some tomatoes, which I thought the plant was dying. But come to find out, after rain and me putting some water in this thing, it came back to life. And you can see it here, where I thought it was dying, and then it was wilted over to the ground. But it just goes to show you that, when you're doing a garden, like how resilient that these things are. And over here was where the garden was last year when I attempted to have a fall garden. And it's funny because it's just a pile of dirt sitting on the ground. And last year we didn't get any squash because I had planted some squash. We got a few radishes out of it last year. We didn't get any carrots. We had a little bit of turnips, little turnip greens. But this year the squash decided to just make its way back and make an appearance. So let me show you guys what's up with that. So you can see the squash is just growing. And it's funny because the other day I was going to cut this. I was going to put the tractor mower on it and just really cut it all down, and then I realized that there was squash growing, and it was a pleasant surprise, to be honest with you, and I was pretty excited about it. So over here we're going to make our way over to the barn, and we are going to just take a look around, and I'll explain the plans I have for this. All right, guys, we are in the barn. And obviously, as you could tell, this barn is not in the best condition. For some reason, I think it might be because we have moles. Underneath the ground, we have water that comes up out of the ground. And really, when it rains, it floods in this place really bad. You can see all over the ground, all the mud that's left over from when it stormed last. And it is about 100 degrees outside right now here in East Texas, and that is still wet. So that's just going to show you, like, when they say, I've been watching a lot of Sow the Land, and when they say buy ugly, you know, they mean it, because it's going to be so rewarding to see this place, like, to expand and to really grow with the homestead. And I'm looking forward to it, guys. And so the plans that I have in here are obviously to close this up. We used to keep horses in here. No, we no longer do that. The horses are over on the other side of the property near our house, because my wife does horseback riding lessons. So we keep them all over there in the pasture. And then we have a little stall over there for newer horses and horses that my wife plans to sell and all that good stuff. So this I cut open for a horse one time, and it didn't go well. So we're gonna go ahead and repair that. So there's actually a slab that runs all the way to the front. So my plan is to clear this out and eventually get more concrete poured, so that way we can kind of level it out so it doesn't slope no more, and we don't get all that rushing water in here, and we can actually build these stables into little areas that we want to keep animals like goats, sheep in the future, and maybe even some a brooding area for chicks, for meat chickens, so we can start raising our own meat chickens. And so that's really the plan for this area. I do plan to have a little workshop somewhere in here, and I think this is going to be our milking station over here, because it has a wall, and I think we're going to go ahead and put a milking station for either a goat or a cow. And we're really just gonna try to expand this place and really make the best of it. I used to keep the chickens in this area. That's why the tarp is up, because when I really messed up on this chicken coop, it really just had me in a funk, and I didn't want to keep them in it. But it's doing good now, and so they're not in this place no more. So we're really just thriving with the land at the moment. This little room over here in the barn, my goal is to use it as I guess you would call it a grocery store for the homestead. I plan on closing up this wall right there. We used to keep horse feed in here and all that good stuff. It's a disaster. The horses were coming in here all the time. And so the plan is to really clean all this up. And I want to put cob walls up. So that'll be straw and clay on the walls to insulate it, and then we can put shelves in here and start storing our vegetables and start storing our canned goods, and maybe put a deep freezer in here and start storing our meat. So there's a whole lot of work to do around here, guys, but let's continue to go on with the tour. Okay, here in the front of the barn, I believe this is gonna be the perfect spot for a butchering area. So here, I'm obviously gonna fix up the loft so we can store hay up there and what have you, but I think we're gonna go ahead and put a winch up this area here all the way to the top of the barn, and we'll be able to hoist up our cows and our pigs and goats and all that good stuff that we plan to butcher here on the homestead. And you know, I really look forward to learning how to butcher your own meat, because that's all part of, you know, being on your own homestead, is for everything to happen in-house on your own property, so you don't really have to do anything on the outside. Obviously you can see I didn't cut any of this yet. It's really hard to catch up when you've had so much rain. And I have a tiny tractor for 17 acres. I need to upgrade that thing. And really, this right here would be the perfect place to keep goats and sheep, so that they could eat all this stuff down and kill all these weeds. And then over here, we used to use these as other horse stables, and what we're going to turn this into is going to be our tool shed. Park the tractor under here, you know, basically a utility shed, and really make the best out of it. It's really not in bad shape. We had a gentleman come in here, fix it up a little bit for us, raise it up because it was falling over. But this land needs a lot of work, guys, because as you can see, I have a lot of clearing to do, because that is not good to have leaning up on your overhang shed. And there's another one here in the back that we have to take down. And then there's a tree that has fallen over the fence that I have to cut into pieces and get that removed. And then also on the other side, another tree has fallen over in the storm that I have to take care of. So, you know, that's the perks of being on a homestead, is that you're never short of work. And you know, I really enjoy coming out here working. It's very rewarding to get all this work done. And you know, I'm loving it. And I think that this is what happiness will truly look like. Really just providing for my family and giving them a safe place to live, and you know, just a homestead that we can be proud of. And this is going to be the area that I work on the most until we grow. So I believe this is probably 1.5 to 2 acres. I think it might be 1.5. You know, so, you know, this is going to be the spot that we do the most work on. This is where we're going to rotate chickens when we get our chicken tractor. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. I actually have a project that I'm going to be working on, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys because I think it's kind of cool. It's not ideal at the moment, if we're being honest, because I really want to get a plastic barrel, because this one right now is metal, and I had to do a lot of cleaning because it was used for chemicals at one point, and it took hours and hours of cleaning, rinsing, cleaning, repeat, all that good stuff. And what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to use it as a compost barrel. I'm going to hang it up and make it to where I can rotate it and put all of our scrap food, fertilizer, and all that good stuff in it. I'm going to show you guys all that here in a second. So at the moment, well, actually, this is my wife's horse arena that she does all the lessons with. And we've got couple you can't see them really on the video, but there's horses out there, and there's a cow, and there's a donkey out there. So you know, we're really just living this homestead life up. But here is going to be my compost barrel, and obviously it's not ideal at the moment, guys. I really want a plastic one, kind of like these, but my wife uses that for her barrel racing. She trains people to barrel race and all that good stuff, so that's what those are used for. So I'm using the metal one right now, and it rusts. It's gonna rust out one day, and I really just want to get a plastic one, and I will here pretty soon. So this is just temporary, and it's really just to get an idea of how I want the setup. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 posts over there near the garden, and I'm gonna drill holes in them. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna put this bar in between the posts, and this will sit in the middle, and it'll allow me to rotate it. And then eventually I'll get a welder, and then we'll be able to weld a handle on it to where we can rotate it by hand and not have to slap at it. I'm gonna ratchet this thing up with the old tractor, and we're gonna get it on over there, and we'll start working on setting it up. Bailey. So at the moment, this is gonna be how I got it set up. I mean, you know, a little ratchet strap hooked on both sides, hooked up to the tractor, and we're gonna get a move on it. So. As you can see, I haven't even really started working yet, and I am sweating. And so as you can see, I got a post right there, and that one's already in place. What I'm gonna do is I have another one over this way. If I turn you can probably see it right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that out of the ground with the chain I got and the tractor, and move it over here. I got some post hole diggers right there, and we're gonna go ahead and get it about close enough to get that that rod to go through, and make sure that we hold it up in the air and be able to rotate it while we compost. But first, I'm gonna go get my weed eater and clean up a few of these weeds. And don't judge me, it's electric with an extension cord, because that's how I roll right now. I have very bad luck with power tools, and apparently electric is the only thing that I can use without it breaking or just completely giving up on life. All right, guys, let's get to it. Now, as you can see, that didn't take me no time at all. There's a Walmart weed eater, so, you know, don't knock it. If it works, it works. And, you know, does a pretty good job. I've been using it for a couple weeks. And, you know, if you guys have any homesteading tools that you like, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll get some and review a few, and, you know, figure all this homesteading while YouTubing thing out. And now that the weed eating part's done, it's time to go pull out that post and get it in the ground. A lot of hot work in this heat. No, I don't know if you can hear me from all the way over there. Probably should invest in a mic. I'm new to this whole outdoors YouTube thing. I've had YouTube channels before, but none like this. But if you guys ever see me doing anything wrong and you have suggestions, let me know. I'd rather do it the right way than the wrong way, or the easier way. Maybe I'm doing something the hard way, like using a post hole digger instead of those big old drills. But this is cheaper, so cheap is better to me. I don't mind hard work as long as I can save some money, especially in that homestead life where we're trying to cut down a little bit. How many of you guys are new homesteaders? Let me know in the comments. Maybe you're learning as I'm learning. You know, who are your favorite homestead YouTubers right now? Because right now, I've been watching a lot of Sow the Land. I think I mentioned that in the beginning. And they're my favorite right now. Just their story and really following along with their journey, and how well that they've adapted over time, and all the stuff that they've learned and taught themselves. It's pretty cool. But let me know yours in the comments. Good enough for government work. Time to lift her back up. Figure out where we want her.
Gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to me. No matter what I do, your heart is drifting out of reach. Head underwater, I'm swimming harder, trying to keep this alive. Gotta find my way to you, now that our love has capsized. Gotta find my way to you, no matter what I do. Gotta find my way to you.
All right, we got it up there. I'm gonna hammer this part in a little bit more so it doesn't have so much overhang on this side and not so much on the other side. So, and then we'll give her a good old-fashioned test run. I think that'll work. All right, she's unhooked. Let's see if she spins. It worked. Now, I know this isn't gonna be my long-term compost bin, but the fact that I have this up and, you know, my idea worked perfectly, it's pretty rewarding that this actually worked out. So it's exciting. Now, something that I don't think I showed you guys earlier is that I put this door on here so that way I could dump all my stuff in, all my compost material in here, and when it's ready to come out, that it would just be able to point downwards and just dump out. So, like I said, that's pretty exciting. You know, that's 2 days work. I started on this yesterday, got all the holes drilled in, made the door, put the hinges on, and then today hanging it up. You know, that's progress right there. Homesteading. All right, we're taking a little break now, and we're gonna hydrate while we're at it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull all the weeds out of these raised beds, and then I'm gonna go ahead and weed eat around the area and make sure that's all taken care of. And then after that, we're gonna call it a day. So we'll see you guys when all this is taken care of. Well, I think I let the weeds get a little out of hand. So at the moment, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just weed eat it, and then maybe make some organic weed killer and just spray the garden with it, and hopefully it doesn't come back. So I'm gonna go get the weed eater. one of the downfalls of having an extension cord, I'm gonna say weed whacker, because weed eater is really hard for my mouth to say out loud. But anyways, one of the bad things about having a extension cord weed whacker is that you're constantly having to pull on the extension cord. Sometimes it gets in the way, sometimes it gets caught on stuff, and that's just no fun. So price you pay, I guess. But honestly, if you look, it really does a decent job. So I guess I really can't complain too much. But all right, I'm gonna keep getting at it.
Wonderful, how wonderful would it be? Hey, 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 how wonderful would it be? Yeah,
Guys, well, we are done with weed whacking, and it's really not that bad. Like I said, I let it get a little out of hand. Sorry, I stepped in some ants. I let it get a little out of hand, and I guess next time I'll know better. And you know, these beds that I haven't really touched have ants all over the place, so I need to get some ant killer in here and some weed killer. So if you guys know of any organic recipes for weed killer and ant killer, I'm all ears. Like I said before, this is my first rodeo on a homestead, and I've never gardened before, so this is my first time, and so I can use all the help I can get. But you know, I'm pretty proud of that, and I'm pretty proud of the barrel, and you know, we are out here living the dream until we'll really be living the dream when we can do this full time and not have to have a regular 9-to-5 job. But until then, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. I do want to show you guys a few of the other things that I really need to work on around here. Oh, got some grass on the good old iPhone that I don't use anymore. Yeah, I actually gave up my iPhone. I actually gave up social media altogether, so I'm really just using this Nokia flip phone now, and honestly I really like it, and I like being off of social media. And so you guys are really going to be the only connection that I have to people other than my family and a small group of friends here in East Texas. So but other than that, back to what I was saying is this pile right here actually came from when we had that flash flood. The debris came over, and as you can see, I have the fence tied up because all that water and all that debris pushed the fence down, and it pushed the fence down over there in the front as well. But we have a young guy, he's in high school, who will come over and clean all this stuff up for me while I work during the day at my job. And you know, my wife, she just had a baby, so our baby is almost 3 months old now. So she had a baby 3 months ago. And you know, we are really just trying to make the most out of it until we can, like I said, do this full time. But I actually, yesterday, I put a rainwater collection site over here by the barn. I'm sure you've seen it earlier when we were walking over there, but I want to show you guys my setup. It's really not ready yet. So when it's ready, I'll go ahead and film it when we get the gutters and everything like that set up. But right now it's just sitting in place, and then we will get everything set up as we go. But a friend of mine works at a polymer plant, and he landed me that thing for free. So all I did was really clean it out a few times. I let the rain kind of rinse it out. It filled it up, and we got it really good and clean. I've had it for a few months, and we finally found a use for it now that we decided to go homestead full time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out from this barn and put some gutters up there, and then we're going to go ahead and route it to our collection site, which is covered in screen from like a screen door, and so that'll catch any debris that comes off of that tin roof. So, and if you look behind me, that's just another project I have. That's gonna, actually my wife landed me that that camper. It's an old I think it's a 70s Shasta, and my wife landed it for me for free on Facebook, and you know, I went and got it, picked it up, brought it home, and I have intentions of turning it into my hunting cabin. So we're gonna really do the most with this beautiful life that God has given us, and you know, I don't plan to waste it. And something that I do want to talk to you guys about, I actually gave up social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I gave up all of that in a short week. I actually gave it up all last week, and I was riding on my tractor one day, and I really felt like God was telling me that he didn't want me on those platforms. He really wanted me to slow down and get away from most of the worldly things. You know, a lot of you homesteaders know that there's a whole bunch of stuff that is unhealthy for us, and there is a whole lot going on in the world, and I really want to get my family away from all that and really live a very simplistic life and really live the way that God intended us to live. And I know that he wants me to do that as well as he's calling me to do other things. So, you know, this piece of dirt that he's blessed me with, I don't plan to waste an ounce of it, and I plan to do the most with it. And I hope you guys come along for the journey. I am looking forward to this journey with you guys, with my family, with God, and you know, we just will continue to keep pushing and learning as we go. That's what I have YouTube for, is to learn new things. I'm getting books from the library. I'm buying books. We're learning a whole lot about homesteading, and I am so excited for the journey ahead. So God bless you guys, and welcome to Bible Belt Ranch. God bless you guys. Take care.